Good morning, good morning. Welcome back to the Wildings Landing. I know it's been a minute since gotten any kind of update, any kind of content on any platform. We've had a lot going on. For those who don't know, we do own a screen business. My husband does screen Monday through Friday, aluminum work for one company, and then we own our own that we run besides that, and it's been blowing up lately. I apologize ahead of time for the wind. So I've been very busy answering phones, making appointments, doing scheduling, da-da-da-da-da. On top of that, our youngest son is moving, and we've been helping. And there's been a lot going on around here, too. I've been busy here, too. So with all of these things, I have been lacking in bringing you content, and I apologize. What you're looking at here, trying something new this year, trying sunchoke. I know, before anybody tells me, I know it's a gassy food. So can cucumbers can be too, come on. But it's a root vegetable, root tuber, root vegetable. I don't know what you would really call that. But anyway, it's supposed to be kind of sweet. I've absolutely never eaten them. But I'm doing a small scale trial and seeing if we like them. And they're a lot like ginger and turmeric and stuff. I can save tubers from the roots when we harvest in late fall. And if we liked them, I'll save them and replant them. If we didn't invest much. I think the tubers cost me less than $10 on Amazon. I don't remember, but anyway, it wasn't very much. I already had the grow bags, and we make our own compost, which I may or may not cover in this video. I was in the middle of filling the wagon full of compost, saw how good the potatoes were growing, thought, you know what, the heck with them, I'm going to take a minute and do a video. This garden, we have a root knot nematode problem. You're going to hear a repeat of that. And planted 2 different types of mustard from 2 different seed companies. We've gotten almost 0 germination. I think that's because, it's been almost 90 degrees during the day. So mustard doesn't want to grow in that. So I'm a little bit of a grr. Actually looked at yesterday, and I've never heard of a YouTube channel doing this. I haven't heard anyone comment on doing this, or but I've thought about doing marigolds for a cover crop because they also help with root knot nematodes. They grow great in Florida. They love our environment and our weather conditions. So, excuse that netting in your face. I'm thinking about doing a cover crop of marigolds. Over here was the same story, although we got a little bit better germination. It is patchy, to say the least. So we might do another cover crop of marigolds in here. I might just plant corn. It doesn't seem to matter with the corn. The root knot nematodes don't seem to be an issue with corn. I might just go ahead, till it and put corn in it and then put the marigolds in after. Or with. I don't know. Who knows what we're going to do. But the mustard in these 2 plots did not work out so well. I think I'm going to go around the palm and show you these. This is our potatoes. This is a store-bought potato that I let 5 or 6, 7 of them go too long out of, 5-pound bag. And I just decided to, I'll plant them. Planted them in feed bags. Started the feed bags pretty low when I planted them. They've been rolled up a couple of times with more compost added each time. Nothing planted in here but our compost. I haven't fertilized. Haven't done anything with them really except water and plant and hill in a sense. I've been unrolling the feed bags periodically and just adding more. Now you guys are going to know what my chickens eat because this is all chicken stuff. But Anyway, it's part of what my chickens eat. I actually blend a lot of things. But, yeah, they're looking really good. I don't think I've had potato plants look this good. And this was just a typical, I don't even know what kind of potato it was, honestly. Don't know if it was I don't think it was a Yukon Gold. But, you know, just potato from the store. I didn't even save the label. I didn't think it was going to work. So, what? Yeah. Oh well. And then we have the onions. This is one bed of onions. When I get to showing you the container garden, whether that's today or another day, I don't know. I don't know how long this video is going to be. Some of them are starting to bulb kind of nice. Wow. Pretty impressed to see this and this. I've never grown onions before, by the way. I've never been this successful. If I harvest just those 2 out of the 300 that I planted, well, that's not bad. Honestly, that's how my outlook has to be, is I got better. Something went better. Red there starting to bulb. In here we have a variety of yellow, white, and red short day onions. And I'm poking around now. I'm kind of curious. I don't even come over here too much. We stopped fertilizing when the bulbing began out here. So that's kind of what I was doing. Oh, and I was trying to take care of these weeds. Me and my son are both hoeing these on a regular basis, but I know that doesn't show right now, but as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, there's been a lot going on. This looks like a red that is bulbing. Cool. I'm pretty impressed. Pretty impressed. Alright. So there's a glance at the onions. Like I said, that's one bed of them. I've got a bunch of them in the container garden too. Buck, Cora, excuse me while I talk to the dogs. And this is the mustard garden, or cover crop, that did the best. It was planted first too. But this is like, I want to say 2 months worth of grow out, and it's still not what I would have expected. So, again, we just might plant a lot of corn out here. We need more corn production than we had last year anyway, so maybe corn. And while we're standing right here by it, let's take a look at this mulberry tree. Yeah. I get my mulberries and my huckleberries mixed up sometimes. But, let's just go nice and slow here so you can see. My oldest granddaughter was supposed to come out and see me for spring break, and I was delaying harvest until she got here so that she could help me. And, you know, I realized that means eat them, but that would have been fine. But yeah, the mulberry tree is just loaded, blown up. And of course I'm going to take a snack while I'm out here. Yum, 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 yum. They're so good. I don't know if you guys can tell how absolutely loaded it is. Every year, several times a year. I'd love to have 5 or 6 more of these trees. Definitely. Alright. Maybe, let's talk about composting, so I was right here anyway. This is just one of the compost bins. My son does all of this. He just sifted all of this out yesterday. We're averaging making about 2 yards a month right now, between the bedding from the turkeys, the chickens, the rabbits. Although the rabbit manure isn't coming in here much yet. Using the free mulch And this is our finished product compost. I was getting a load of it to take to the container garden, which I guess maybe I could put you on pause, take you to the container garden with me, right? Alright, let's do that. But you don't want the boring walkover. Nah. Alright. I'm a little out of breath. Pulling the wagon full of compost over here. Goodness gracious. Alright. A brief tour, or extensive, however it ends up turning out, of what's going on in the container garden. Because our field gardens are out of commission right now, I completely redid the container garden, and it's still a work in progress. But here we go. Herbs, borage, sweet basil, borage, sweet basil, borage, sweet basil, right down in here. Holy basil, toothache plant, although I cannot say the name correctly. Holy basil, oregano, thyme. Thought, because thyme likes to tear, it'd be pretty in that pot. To be planted. Sweet potatoes are probably going to go in there. I have 24 slips coming from Haas. Leaving some of these bigger pots. I'm going to go ahead and fill them, but I'm leaving some of those bigger pots for tomatoes. I planted early long eggplant here yesterday. Don't have anything for this one yet. I'm probably going to plant something low growing. I don't know what yet, but I don't know. And this is how I'm filling most of these larger containers. That free mulch is my first layer. And then I rake up oak leaves, and we have an abundance of those. Usually doing a layer of the leaves, and then I'm doing a layer of the rabbit compost, what's coming out of the rabbit cages, which is pine bedding and their manure and urine. Mix it real good, and that gets a layer, and then I put a layer of our compost in here and plant. This one these just have compost, or just have mulch. I don't think I have any in here that you'll see what I mean by the rabbit stuff from their cages in just a minute, but it's used as a top dress fertilizer. Anyway, these 3 are also eggplant. It will be Swiss chard. Yes, a little late in the year, but I don't think it's impossible. This is kind of all green beans, except this one. This is collards that I transplanted from another garden where they were not doing so well. Just transplanted them yesterday. And got a lot of green beans coming. Kind of crowded them in there, but that's okay. I kind of felt like I needed to. We got green beans planted in the old strawberry tower. And I guess we'll just do row by row. Here's our garlic. And this is top dressed with that pine and stuff from the rabbit cages. And rabbit manure, of course. This little part of the garden, I was just going to grow out sweet potato slips. I buried several sweet potatoes in here, and I was just going to make a designated place for me to grow out my slips. But I used our compost, and it was compost that we didn't let sit quite long enough. And so we had a lot of volunteers coming at it. And those tomatoes and the amaranth, and I don't think the marigolds. I think I planted the marigolds. I think I threw marigolds in here. Thought they'd be pretty with the sweet potato vines. And I do have one sweet potato vine right there. Or sweet potato slip. We're not going to let it grow to a vine. I've got a few carrots coming there. Planted a few more here just yesterday. Got a little collard there, and I planted spinach in both of those just yesterday. These aren't planted yet. This is kind of one of my work in progress areas. This is a little herb garden that's got a few onions, this Cuban oregano that the chickens love it, some rosemary, thyme back there struggling a little bit, sage. This is lemon mint. This is probably fennel or dill because both went to seed and seed gets everywhere. Here I've got another tub of carrots, and on both sides of this little walkway I planted premier kale that should be popping in the next 3 or 4 days. And the next row, well, I've got this onion bed. I told you when I showed you the big one that there was a little one. This one doesn't seem to be bulbing as much, and some of them seem to be much smaller, but it is what it is. In this recycling bin garden, I usually grow carrots in these. They grow so well. I haven't done any scratch testing on these yet. But, yeah, got carrots there. A volunteer amaranth, and I think only 1 or 2 carrots sprouted in this bed at all. Behind it, another carrot bed that's doing real well. These big round ones are also real good for doing carrots. A few more carrots growing in this one. A few more carrots growing in this one. This is why I just planted those other 2 pots, just because I had really spotty germination. Got carrots there. Here we've got our sweet potatoes started. At least 1 round. I usually have 3 or 4 pots of sweet potatoes going at different times. And this is just one for now. Another big pot of carrots. I just showed you that one. Yesterday, this is fennel and chives. Yesterday I had to cut this fennel so far back. I literally could not see the chives in here. It was just going everywhere. So I cut it way, way, way back, and the chickens and the quail enjoyed the offspring of that. They enjoyed me doing that job. And this is one of our lettuce beds that I'll be harvesting today. We're definitely having salad for dinner tonight. 2 days ago, I planted 3 rows of red sales and 2 rows of a green romaine in here. I know it's late for lettuce, but if I can pull off just a harvest or 2, fine, and then I'll let it go to seed. Pollinators love it when it does. I've got Sumter cucumbers planted here, and yesterday, this project kicked my booty. But yesterday, I put in this, you might lose some of it with the light, but yesterday I put in this arched panel trellis that spans not row to row, not, but it actually skips a row, and it's about 8 to 10 feet tall. Well, I'm 5'4". Yeah, I'd say it's about 8 feet tall. And hoping that this is an arched trellis with cucumbers growing on it. I've got lemon cucumbers planted on that side, Sumter on this side, so hoping for the best. And here we've got mint. I always grow a lot of mint. I like mint. It has a lot of uses. Even now with the chickens, I throw so much, throw it in their nesting boxes and around in the coop. It makes a great air freshener and rodent deterrent. The turkeys love it. So yeah, kind of cool. Got mint there too. These are grow bags that I don't have full yet. Recycling bin that I don't have full yet. That might be sweet potatoes. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to make room for those slips. These are some containers. They're stackable vertical containers that I got from Dollar Tree last year. Yeah, maybe about this time last year. That I had over in my shade garden, and they were struggling. So I brought this rack from the other side of the fence, brought it into the garden, and I've got to figure out something to plant in this one and in that one. But we've got lacinato kale and bright light Swiss chard, some romaine, more Swiss chard, more lacinato. And back here, this is going to be pepper corner. This has always been pepper corner, but right now I have spinach and onions, a few onions. I got to the point where I had to put onions wherever I could planted in here, but I'm going to definitely make this full of peppers again. More mint. I think I'm going to put zinnias in here. It'll be under the cucumber trellis, the arch panel trellis, but I think they'll get plenty of sun. And I'm going to probably do sweet potatoes in there. This is the lettuce we're actively harvesting and eating almost daily. Believe it or not, I came in yesterday and got a lot of, like, you know, those bottom leaves that get kind of icky. All that, the wheat, yeah, everything out of there. Fed it to the chickens. Today, you can't even tell. More mint. You might get tired of hearing me say more mint. Back here is where this container is still a mess. And it's still a mess because the milkweed's in here, and I'm kind of trying to leave the milkweed alone. So in doing so, it's kind of getting neglected, period. But yes, that's poison ivy. My dill was right there, but I harvested a lot of it because I've got a lot of dill coming other places, and I'm making pickles. So that dill, I harvested all of it. Speaking of more dill, got dill growing right there. This container is going to be under construction. It might be getting part of the load of compost I just brought out. Here's our little spinach bed that I also took a bunch of leaves out of here yesterday that were getting eaten up, and gave those to the chickens and the rabbits. The Sumter cucumbers that I showed earlier, well, future super Sumter cucumbers, and Beijing grass. And I think I actually covered the whole garden. Okay, guys, that's kind of what's been growing on, where my energy has been, what I've been up to for the last bit. And I'll do my best to keep you guys updated. I've got some exciting things going on along the back area, but I want to kind of wait until I'll show you that another time. You've gotten all the growing except what's going along the back fence and what's going on in my son's gardens. But we'll cover those on another little tour. All right. Thank you so much. We'll give you an update on all the animals real soon too. The bunnies and Mr. and Mrs. Gobbles. And Tommy. Got some things going on with eggs that are real cool. So yeah, stay tuned, guys. I'll do my best to bring it to you. Trust me. All right. Love you. Appreciate you. Deeply appreciate you. Come back and see us soon.